while Jewish, with the wife
Okay.
and the baby. Hey, Yaakov. This is our little date on this backyard in the swing, on the swings.
So there was a question raised, a response to our last video about reincarnation. What was the question?
The question was, do we choose our parents?
It's really a question that's been asked a lot of times.
Does our soul, before coming down to this world, get a chance to choose the family that they're going to be born into? Because the last time we spoke about reincarnation, right? And sometimes we have to come back. Do we get to choose our parents?
So I can't see that there's a menu presented of all kinds of arrays of different kinds of parents, but the answer comes from what my father-in-law, Sechuso Yagein Aleinu, may his memory protect us, his merit protect us, brought down an amazing Zohar. That the Zohar brings this parable of a king who goes on a long stroll with his servant, and as they go through the course of the stroll, the king and the servant go to this tower, this huge tower. Every single step on the tower, there's a portrait of a different person that's on the tower. So as they're walking up the steps, so finally the king stops at one of the steps and he turns to his servant and he says, "What do you think about this portrait here?" So the servant looks at it and goes, "Yeah, it's all right, right?" But of course, what happens? The king says, "This is going to be you." So that's when the soul freaks out and goes, "Whoa, what are you talking about? What do you send me? I'm going to be that? You're going to make me that? You know, I like it here. I'm so comfortable here. I'm with the queue." So the king explains to his servant and he says, "Listen, in the course of the entire events for your ultimate perfection, this is what's going to be the best for you in terms of your journey. You're going to be this type of person. Of course, included in the portrait is these type of parents, these kind of kids, and these kinds of experiences that are going to come. So, of course, within that portrait are the parents and all the character traits that, of course, are going to be there as a force in order to help that soul reach its ultimate rectification." So, of course, after the king explains it to the servant agrees, says, "You're right. That's
so in
the best
essence,
plan."
we do choose our parents because we recognize and we realize from the world of truth when we're still souls that these parents, no matter who they are, and there are some difficult situations of parents that are not
Baseball
so easy.
dad. Watch out for the baseball
Or helicopter
dad.
mom. You know, am I a helicopter mom?
What's a helicopter mom?
Those moms that hover over their kids and don't let them breathe. I'm so not. I'm an Israeli mom. I'm a parachute mom. I'll throw you out of a plane and figure it out. You know? But it sounds like from what you're saying, Yaakov, that we basically, for our perfection, our soul knows what it needs to, so to say, rectify and perfect in this world. So it does choose the parents and the circumstances and kind of like the journey, the life journey that we're going to go on.
Based on what the person did in their last life, based on their qualities and the qualities they need to develop and the things that they need to learn and work through with all of the mishigas and all of the craziness. That's our path. That's our path.
You know what? It's hard sometimes to swallow because I've heard people say, some people say, "Wow, it's so incredible I chose my parents. I would have chosen them over and over and over." Like for me, that's true. I would have chosen, my parents. I've been lucky and you've been lucky. I love your parents. And I'm very lucky. And we're not just saying this because we're on camera and our parents are going to see this, but we have been lucky and blessed. But sometimes there's a situation where parents are abusive or not as loving as they could be, and then it's tough, you know, and then someone says, "How could it be that I chose this? I can't believe my soul signed a contract to come down to the world into this situation." Like they feel like they could have rewritten that script a lot better.
So if you realize that you agreed to it,
yeah,
then it definitely makes it a lot easier.
It makes the journey. Yeah, I could hear that. It makes sense. I think it makes.
What was it like? What you said?
Yeah,
if you masa, what was that?
Oh, in Hebrew, masa means a burden. Mem, shin, sin, aleph. But if you realize that your masa, your burden, is actually your masa, which is mem, samach, ayin, which means journey. That's the journey that God intended for you to have. then it's much easier for you to carry your burden. And actually, your burden lifts you and carries you. Instead of
Once you realize it's your journey.
Once you realize it's your journey.
Okay. Happy tikkun, happy rectification, happy fixing.
Happy 4th of July,
and
guys.
happy journeys.
Bye.